Everyone's journey's completely different, but that's yours, and you gotta just own it and you gotta live it. You never know what could happen. That's why I don't take the bracelet off.
Live it, love it, and let's have some fun, okay? Let's ride on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's ride. Let's
Bryce Behringer will wait for the snap. Behringer's punt. It takes a great Michigan State bounce. Rolls inside the 30-yard line of Michigan. And the Spartans down it at about the Michigan 28.
Just trying to persevere and always put your best foot forward each and every day. The prize is in the journey. I was kind of like the Energizer Bunny kid. I always had to be doing something. My first sport that I can really remember was playing like pee-wee soccer. And then when I got into high school, I started playing football.
Bryce started off as a place kicker and kickoff specialist. To see your son have a chance to go out and play play football and do something that you have done, it was neat for myself and his mom as well.
As I grew up and got taller, I started punting more. If I knew I wanted to play college football, punting was definitely what I would have to actually do. I was one of the top guys in Michigan in my class, but at the end of the day, they want some film and some other numbers like in a game, and I didn't have that necessarily because we didn't punt very much. After my senior year, I didn't have any offers, so I attended a camp.
Mike Sadler booms the punt.
They got me in contact with Mike because he was their regional instructor, and I knew he was a legend here. I mean, it's kind of hard not to know the name. But after about 2 hours, the kicking kind of ended, and then it was just kind of talking. I mean, I told him, I don't have any offers. I don't really have a lot of exposure. Like, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. And he said, don't worry about all that. All you have to worry about and listen to is who matters to you, what matters to you, and what are you going to do to achieve that.
Mike was one of the last conversations that he had with Bryce. It was a very tough day on Sunday, I will tell you, when we learned of what had happened. It was very emotional for everybody there.
I did take a visit here, but I wasn't in that recruiting class that they needed a punter with. So I looked in other directions, and luckily Illinois reached out, and that's where I started my collegiate career. Illinois wasn't exactly cheap. Thankfully, Michigan State has the rolling admissions decision. I elected that I would transfer. I've always been a Michigan State fan, so to be able to be here is very special and it's pretty cool. This was the only place that I was going. I wasn't going anywhere else, wasn't considered anything else. And at the time, we were at our full roster cap. There was an opportunity, but at the same time, with no roster space, there necessarily isn't.
To Hayward. Hayward's going to throw it. Back to Labonte.
Spring rolled around, spring ball, they said, we're still at 120, but we'll be in contact. Summer rolled around, and still, hey, we're at the 120. On that Saturday night, Jake Hartbarger unfortunately got hurt and got injured. Coach Foligno called me on that Monday and said, hey, we need you to come in. It was definitely a sense of joy. Like at Illinois, I was guaranteed a spot, but this was kind of the first time that I didn't know. And with that came a lot of just like worry, like am I actually good enough to play at a Big Ten school, even though I had just come from one. I still don't feel that in that year I gave my best effort because I was always nervous to screw up.
Waiting for the snap at the 8-yard line to our left is Tyler Hunt. Steps to his right and bangs it.
It was kind of a botched play, and Tyler picked it up, and he tried to make something, and then I see him go down. I'm like, you gotta be joking. Because obviously Jake was hurt, and now Tyler. He went down, he comes off the field, the next thing I know, it's Bryce. All right, now it's 100%. You can't doubt yourself. Now you actually gotta go out and do it.
Bryce Behringer, the punter, comes on. The third punter for the Spartans this season. And he bangs this one. Backpedaling and falling down. That's a 50-yard punt for Behringer.
I would say that switch flipped pretty quick, and I was ready to go, thankfully.
Inside our same group, we're skinning out.
So at the time it was Jake, was back. Tyler had started and was coming back pretty quick from his ACL. Jack, myself. Through spring, Jake was pretty much healthy and Jack was new, so they had gotten a lot of reps with the ones and the twos. And I didn't get too many. I was like, when am I gonna get my shot? When am I gonna get my shot? But then I kind of had a big self-reflection day with Jake, and he was like, you always need to seize the opportunities you're given. And when he said that, I was like, I was just given one in 2018 and didn't make the most of it. So at that point in time, I knew if I'm given another opportunity, I'm not gonna throw it away. My whole kind of work ethic changed. I started working harder. I started trying to lift more on my own, trying to develop myself to get stronger. And then as camp got more towards the end and the season got closer, I'd kind of noticed, I'm the only guy who's not really back.
I think it was certainly something that was pretty crushing. He never let it get him down. Fortunately, the staff gave him field access, so he was able to do some photography.
I was taking pictures for the guys like in games. No, the piece of me still wanted to be around. I had continued to work out. Along with taking pictures for the team, I'd go over to the band field and I'd practice on my own, try and keep up with my technique and my fundamentals. And I did get that call in early 2020.
The punt's away by Behringer.
It was kind of like I was back like I never left.
What's the call? They'll say the 4-yard line. The kick's away. Spartans have it well covered. Behringer just booms this punt.
Wow. Those friendships were kind of put on hold, were now rekindled. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, Jordan, I got you.
We were getting ready for Northwestern. We had just gone through camp. Coach Els and Dahlman had kind of pulled me aside and said, hey, congrats, you're on scholarship. And I was like, really? It's a huge relief, to see all your hard work pay off. A lot of late nights, staying up wondering what's gonna happen. Am I gonna be able to play again? A lot of mornings with my dad or some of the guys out here practicing, just all that accumulating to a couple of words, just hearing you're on scholarship. It's just a lot of hard work paying off.
It shows that you don't give up. For Bryce, it's been all of the things that have been thrown at him. Injury, getting an opportunity, sticking it out, and hanging in there is really important. The night that he had with the Nebraska game, when Mrs. Sadler was here, when Karen was here, it brings tears to my eyes.
And Miss Sadler, she had texted me before the Nebraska game. It read, best of luck tonight. Number 3 is always with you. Sending lots of love. It was cool also to have the night that I had on the memoriam for him and Sam.
Bryce Behringer bangs it. He kills it. It rolls inside the 10. The Spartans will down it back at the 6-yard line. Clutch punt. A 67-yard punt by Bryce Behringer.
That game that night, being here and watching Bryce perform, he felt like he's always got Mike with him a little bit.
Right before we had the chance to kick that field goal at the end of the game, Cogs and I always fist bump before I take my knee and get ready for the spot. And he said, Mike's got us. And I said, yes, sir, he does.
And a hold for Bryce Behringer. This will be a 21-yard field goal to win the game in overtime. Perfect snap. The put down. The kick is up. The kick is good.
5 seconds later, win the game.
Win in overtime.
We tried to raise both our daughter and him in a way to be persistent, be dedicated, be loyal, and continue to pursue your dreams. And I think that's what Bryce has done here. As parents, I don't think it could make us any prouder.
My story is walk on, transfer, walk on, cut, kind of walk on, and then now I'm here. That's why I don't take the bracelet off, because no one has a story or a journey like mine, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
After a pair of lopsided wins, the Michigan State University Spartans eye a 3-0 start with the Valparaiso University Beacons at the Breslin Center tonight. And for MSU, a milestone on the line today. Head coach Susie Merchant eyeing her 500th career win. Winston slows it down. She's left open for three. Bang! Eliza Winston red hot in the first quarter. She works inside, going to the cup, splits two defenders, bangs it off the window and in. Farquhar, baseline jumper. You're off the assist from Bo Jordan. First layup up and in. Elbow steps back for two. That is good. And that's how the third quarter comes to a close. Now inside Farquhar, lays it up with the right hand, rimming. No, got her board back up and in. And that's it. It's a victory for MSU and the 500th career win for Susie Merchant.
I just want to say thank you. You think about 500 career wins and all the faces of the kids that you coach. That's what you remember. Just this place is really special. I grew up in Traverse City. I've been a Spartan my whole life. And to stand on these sidelines and have an opportunity to do it in front of all of you guys, and especially get 500 here is, you'll never know the gratitude and the blessings that I feel to be a Spartan. So I want to say thank you to all the fans. You guys are incredible. You help us get these 500. You helped us get this one today. So thank you. Appreciate you all.
At times it can be a lot of pressure. I have a lot of people coming to the games, expectations from previous years. As I grow in my faith, I realize it's less about my performance and more about my platform and what I do with it. I've been given a lot of abilities, talents, and so I take the responsibility of just using those to the best of my ability, less contingent on my performance and how that translates to my value, because I know my value and I just want to use my platform and use my abilities to make people happy. My second oldest brother, he's only 1 year older than me, and so I always played up a year on his team so that my dad could coach us both. And so I had a really good relationship with him just playing throughout the years. We always joke he was the assist man and I scored the goals, and I kind of took the limelight away from him, but we played just about our whole lives together with my dad as the coach. Can't really ask for anything better than that.
We were having practice 2 nights a week. They wanted to have practice 6 nights a week. So I had to find avenues to motivate them, so that's when we took them to club soccer where they could play 4 days a week and I could still work with them.
Been a big MSU fan my whole life, so I was at all the football games, all the basketball games, especially the soccer games. I remember I used to have to cut class early before MSU had lights so I could catch the 3 o'clock games at DeMartin. My role models were MSU soccer players, seeing players like Dewey Lewis. I just wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be a key player on the team. They used to have ball kids out here, and I'd sometimes walk to the center of the field with my old TNT team and ball boy Michigan State soccer.
Hey, dear Jack, happy birthday to you. Are you fine?
We go way back. First time I met him was probably at a soccer tryout. And I remember this kid who had, tape all over his shin guards, just like super energetic. And I'm like, who's this kid? Little did we know we'd be teammates from that moment on.
Fry and I had been friends for a long time. We started playing at TNT together.
That's when we actually got really close because we'd ride together to practices. That was like an hour drive. And it was always tough for me to get my rides there for my family, but I remember Jack and Jack's mom especially gave us most of those rides there. I'm actually really thankful for them because I don't know how I would have made it to practices without them.
Fry committed to Michigan State a little bit before me when we were in high school. I was definitely a little jealous because that was my dream school. I mean, he was my best friend, so he kept motivating me, helping me with connections with coaches and stuff. Wanting to come to play here, definitely had people telling me, settle your expectations or think more realistically. You really just have to listen to the people closest to you, your friends and family. They know you the most. Once I was able to commit, couldn't have drawn it up any better. We were so happy, celebrating everything. Dream come true for both of us.
Step in front by Makuna into a dangerous spot and a goal!
the freshman, Jack Beck.
I definitely saw Michigan State as a high expectation for me. I was definitely reaching a little bit, as I should have. I wanted to play here, and so I was going to do whatever I could to play here. And even if some people thought that the school was maybe too prestigious or too talented for me at the time, I just had to put those voices aside. And eventually, people who didn't really think I could make it here, it just motivated me to want to come here even more. And eventually, I just got an opportunity.
Number 32, Lance McGrane.
I think for Jack, it was validation that all of his hard work paid off. And as a parent, I'm certainly proud to see both of them when they come on the field. I'm almost most proud of them when they walk off the field, and after the game, getting a chance to talk to them and see how they're interacting with their teammates, how they interact with the fans. There's a lot of young children that come out to watch the game, and I remember when Jack was one of those kids and he looked at these players like they were heroes. And seeing Fry and Jack talk to those kids and spend time asking them how their game is, what their juggling record is, or how their team's doing, that's really cool. And I think that's something that Michigan State has developed. There's highs and lows, and soccer is the most painful sport there is. But to see them and how they act as men afterwards and have a perspective of where they are is really, really rewarding as a parent.
Fry and I are both growing up Christian backgrounds, but I'd say it was definitely once we got to college, joined Athletes in Action, and we really started to take it seriously. We really took a leap of faith in surrendering our lives to Christ. And it's sort of like the iron sharpens iron, both as friends, teammates, players, but also as believers. You know, we sharpen each other to be better in all areas of our life. And so just to be able to talk about that and work towards the same goals is pretty cool.
Being a student athlete is hard in so many ways. Being roommates, it's been cool because we help each other in everything, you know, keep each other accountable. Jack has a really strong relationship with God. It's contagious. He's not afraid to talk about it. It's a huge part about his life. It's been cool to be able to grow together in our faith, which is a very hard walk when you have somebody to go through it with. And at the end of the day, our goal is that we want to glorify God in everything that we do.
I think that's God looking down on them and guiding them and pulling them and keeping them together. And their friendship certainly started probably through soccer, but I know they're both coming to the end of their collegiate career. Their faith's going to keep them together as best friends for the rest of their lives.
I've seen him grow in his love for people. He really cares more about others than himself, to be honest. He's always thought about the next man. He's always thought about me, always thought about people around him. And it's cool being able to see that because it translates on the field too. It translates in everything he does.
I came into Michigan State thinking my experience and everything was going to be around soccer. I realized that it wasn't all about soccer, and soccer is an amazing thing and it gave me an amazing platform, but it's a lot bigger than that. From ball boying here and coming to all the games to now being a senior and walking off the pitch, a lot of memories both as a player and as a fan. I certainly don't want to take anything for granted. It's just such an amazing opportunity just to be able to play in front of fans, be able to play with teammates and coaches. I'm very grateful and hopefully got a little bit more left in me.
You know, at the end of the day, the biggest difference here at Hinkle is it'll be the first time in forever that we've been on the road playing in front of fans. And that's what you kind of, I won't say worry about, but concerned on how your players handle that.
We have waited a long time to finally get to do a basketball game in Hinkle Fieldhouse.
T-minus 64 minutes. Dog time.
You find yourself taking pictures with the Bulldog. You find yourself walking the hallowed halls of this place that was opened in 1928. This is not business as usual, and the setting here is not business as usual. We have more people coming to this basketball game than attend Butler University, but at the end of the day, the fanfare is stopped, the sightseeing is over. It is now time to play basketball. Harris breaks to the basket, shot is blocked by Bingham.
That's Christie into the lane. Nice move from the freshman who finishes with the left hand. Up ahead, Christie, transition triple, and it goes. And the Spartans cooking to begin.
Feel good about yourself and get out and cut it down even more.
Brown goes by Bolden, and the foul for Gabe Brown.
I love that finish, and I love the way he attacked the rim
Well, 20 minutes in the books, 20 to go here at the Hinkle Fieldhouse. 31-23.
Christie said he's got a dozen.
He's got the rebound. They're all over him. And he gets it to safety to Brown out front for three. He got it!
Offensive board and a putback with a foul for Marcus Bingham. Here's Willman getting rejected, and it's Bingham on the defensive end this time.
With the ball out front, Walker passes on the three. For Gabe Brown won't. He got it!
And that's one way to beat a zone, Gabe Brown.
Full pass down low to Bingham. Oh, what a slam dunk! Final score from Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Michigan State 73 and Butler has 52.